So the first chocolate, Natasha, why don't you talk about it first, and then I'll get into the wine, and then we'll get rolling.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're going to start off light and sweet with your strawberries and cream. So what we're going to do...
Sorry, I'll pause right now for just a minute. So the idea for this, to keep this in sort of a structure, just take some of the chocolate to start, and then so that way you can develop your senses, and then we'll go to the wine, and then you can eat all the rest of the chocolate.
Yeah.
We just don't want you to devour everything, because it'll all get lost.
Yeah, so you can get this all around your mouth, and basically this is a really nice, smooth strawberries and cream. You have a 70% dark chocolate shell around it, and with the strawberry flavoring we use, this one was Calabo, their W2 white chocolate, and 70% dark chocolate is our Belgian chocolate chip.
So pairing with this first wine is actually going to be the Borgoluce Lampo Prosecco. So Prosecco is made in Italy. It is a tank method, so no oak on this as well. So the idea of starting with this is that it's very fresh and a lot of acidity on there, and it's going to complement the fruitiness of this first chocolate that we have really quite well. The idea is to wake up the palate, get it alive and going, so that all the rest of the chocolate and wine that we're going to be drinking doesn't get lost. Prosecco, the idea with the acidity on this is that it's just going to cut through how thick and viscous the chocolate is when it develops your senses. So enjoy everyone. How's it feel over there? While we're talking about this, the idea with pairing wine with any food is you can do one of two things. You can do comparable flavors, where like-minded, where you're pairing something that tastes like cacao with something that tastes like cacao. Or the opposite is true, where you can do contrasting flavors. So like doing something sweet with something spicy so that they marry in the middle. And so a few of these wines are going to do two of different things. Some of the wines are going to be like-minded, some of them are going to be a little bit different that you wouldn't actually think of. Because the thing about pairing wine with chocolate is that most people think that you need a dessert wine to pair with dessert. But it's in fact not the case. It's just like you said, it's too much of one thing. So actually starting with some bubbles is actually a great way to go. So.
Yeah, and experimenting is good too. So there's not too much of a right and wrong, but it's really fun to explore what's going on. So if we do another wine pairing again,
there'll be different wines.
There'll be definitely different wines and different chocolates to try. So, all right.
But this is a bone dry wine, but it does have this perception of sweetness on the back of the palate, and so that's where it's a great complement to the strawberries and cream, and to get us started today.
So how was that?
Right.
Okay. Any descriptive words besides good? No? Okay, we'll get you going, don't worry. Okay, so our next chocolate, we have a Canadian maple. So what I did this time was, instead of using a really sweet milk chocolate, a lot of my chocolates are really 70%, such a perfect percentage. So I use that with most of my chocolates because I get into real crazy foodie flavors, right, Mark? So we really wanted to kind of have a less sweet milk chocolate so that it's just more palatable and mature. So I found that the Alanga from cacao berry was
Can I see that?
A definite winner for the Canadian maple, especially because I'm going to add maple syrup to the chocolate, which we don't want to, I don't add sugar or too many sweet things. And this was a hit. So with your Canadian maple, you can get that all around your mouth, and there is still the 70% dark chocolate shell around.
I was torn. I was thinking, do I pair a Canadian wine with Canadian maple? And I thought, scrap. We drink a lot of Canadian wine here. So we're actually going to go to Spain next for your next wine. This comes from the Rueda region, which is right in the central, so very hot climate, and it is a Verdejo, which is a very aromatic variety. It reminds you of Sauvignon Blanc in a lot of ways, but it's completely different. Okay, so the idea with this is that Verdejo has a little bit of bitterness in the background to it. It's a very aromatic variety, but that bitterness is going to be what complements the bitterness in the Canadian maple one here. And so it has some like-minded things that are going to be comparable to, but it also has like, you don't usually think about comparing white wine with dark chocolate. So that's where the Verdejo kind of comes in. So I hope you guys like it because I love it. It's from Spain, specifically the Rueda. Find, especially in the restaurant, that you get a lot of value from Spanish wines. And so this wine in particular is only a $15 bottle of wine. All of these wines are consignment wines, so you won't find them in the LCBO, but you will find them through Halpern Wine specifically. But by finding some really great wines you may not have ever had in Spain, it's definitely somewhere that you should really look at when you're at the LCBO.
Okay, so what's happening here? How is that?
Halpern.
So what, sorry, what happened? Yes, what happened? It's good, you liked it? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, give me some more words, guys.
Yeah.
And so do you find the wine was very complimentary that you cut it off? Yeah? Excellent.
Oh, you had a
So the acidity on this wine, acidity in wine is really what the benchmark for having it being very comparable, something that's really great to enjoy with food, because it cuts through like those proteins and everything else, especially with white wine specifically. And so this is a very medium to high acid wine, but it's the flavor profiles in the background that just kind of like really wake up your palate and then give you something that's a little bit different than what we're going to be coming to next with your red wine, which is in a lot of ways more of a classic pairing, especially with darker chocolates. But a nice, vibrant white wine, it definitely does a lot of good in the glass when you're tasting chocolates aside.
So our next chocolate that we have is our Miss Bailey Brown's classic dark silk. So it's our play. All of our chocolates are either square or heart-shaped or butterflies, but because they're actually big, our chocolates out there are bigger than just a bite size. So we want to keep our weights the same, so we try to keep our shapes the same. So we have the classic truffle with the cacao powder, and I use coconut milk for my ganache. So this is dairy-free, and the 70% is a dark chocolate, but it doesn't give you any sweet aftertaste or a bitter aftertaste. I think it's just right on the nose.
So cacao also inherently has tannin, and that tannin is that drying sensation that you have inside your mouth. Well, the next wine that we're going to be pairing is actually a red Bordeaux. So this is actually grapes are actually sourced from all over the Bordeaux region of France, which are specifically Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Cabernet Franc, as well as a couple of others, but those are the dominant three. And so what's great about this is that the tannin in this wine, because it's made with exclusively French oak, complements the tannin in the chocolate very, very well. The thing I love about old world wine, specifically Italy, France, Spain, is that they have like this, especially the red wines have this little bit of a funky characteristic because of the oak that they use, because they use nothing but French oak. And so where you'll get like mushrooms and cigar box, with American oak and American wines, you'll get more vanilla characteristics and things of that nature. And so this wine, it's more the tannin in this wine that was really the purpose for why we wanted to do it with the truffle specifically. So I hope you guys like it, because this is another one of those wines that I absolutely love. And not something that you would traditionally pair with chocolate, but now you know you can. Yeah. It's a 2012
I'm sure about that one.
Bordeaux
not a huge fan.
Yeah,
from Bordeaux region, France. That's got to be. There we go.
Nice photo walk.
So how do we like that wine and chocolate together, guys? It might be for normal folk, it might be a little early in the day for a big red Bordeaux. At the same time, when you're tasting awesome chocolates like these, you really want to have a beverage alongside of it that can really stand up to the weight of the chocolate. And that's what Bordeaux is going to do for you every single time. And Bordeaux can be some of the most expensive wines in the world, but when you're talking about this producer, this is a $15 bottle of wine, so it's very approachable for any budget, and yet it still gives you all of the characteristics that you would want with food and with chocolate. Yeah, I think so too. And one doesn't get lost on the other. You still get the wine carrying through, you still get the chocolate.
Like you said, like a Pinot might get drowned out.
That's the trick when you're kind of compared. If you had a very light Oregon Pinot Noir with this big bold chocolate, you'd be tasting nothing but chocolate, and the wine would just get lost. And so having a wine like this, it's a little bit more of a approachable when you're looking at it from compare and contrast. Yeah, it is, and it's got a little bit of age behind it. To have a 2012 Bordeaux for under $20 is great. Great.
Bingo.
Well, second try.
The last tasting that we have is your Stories on the plate. It's from Tanzania. This is from Tanzania. So basically, the cacao bean comes from a few species of trees. We have Pierola, Forastero, and the hybrid of both of those trees is the Trinitario species of cacao bean. So this is actually Criollo and the Trinitario bean that is put together for the Tanzania origin. You're going to get some fruitiness and bitterness, and it's a 75%. So the 70% dark chocolate that you've had is really like doable, comfortable, but it's and rich. And so this might give you a few different notes of different flavors and a little bit more bitterness.
For our last wine tonight, probably my favorite wine. So this is the Fuminelli family. This is a Valpolicella from the Veneto region of Italy. Fuminelli family has been growing grapes there since 1450, and all of the vines that go into making this bottle of wine are at least 40 years old. The thing about Valpolicella is that it's a byproduct of Amarone. So Amarone, what happens with Amarone when it's made is the grapes are actually laid out on straw mats and then dried in the sun for up to 6 weeks. And so what that does is that all of the water weight evaporates and the grapes get concentrated or raised. Okay? And so after the 6 weeks they'll press that to actually make Amarone. That's why Amarone is always so expensive, because you get only 1/5 of the amount of juice that pressing fresh grapes will give you. So where Valpolicella comes in handy, and sorry, let me back up. The flavor profile with Amarone is you get these big, rich, chocolatey characteristics. You get like these dessert, like very sweet, sultry like characteristics on the palate. Where Valpolicella comes in handy is they take fresh grapes, press them, but then they pass the juice over the Amarone skins. So you get to extract all the flavor of the Amarone, but without actually spending the high prices that you would get.
Isn't that a ripasso, actually?
Exactly. Ripasso is the Italian word for pass. And so when you're talking about a nice Valpolicella like this, you get to have a $25 bottle of wine as opposed to a $75 bottle of wine, but still get a lot of the characteristics with not the high alcohol that a lot of Amarones have. We're the only culture in the world that actually drinks Amarone with food. In Italy, you drink it with dessert only. And so the idea is to bring something that is a classic pairing for chocolate, for a still red wine. Because if you're going to leave here today with all of Miss Bailey Brown's chocolates and share them with your friends and you want a bottle of wine to choose, get a bottle of Valpolicella and it'll go with every single one of them. Because you're going to get a lot of those complementary flavors where you're going to get like the cassis, you're going to get the cacao, you're going to get like, just a nice, smooth, fruit-forward red wine with not too much oak, that's really approachable from any standpoint. And so, like I said, this is the most expensive wine that we're tasting today, right around $25 a bottle, but a really, really famed and great producer from the 90s. So I hope you guys will. I'm sorry. Veneto. Yeah, I get by pairing this with just like a clean, like just pecan right there, you really get the chance to like see what Valpolicella is. Like no matter what you do with it, that's the starting point, that's the base. And so it's like building a cocktail. You start with vodka and then you add things. You know, when you start with making chocolate, you start with cacao and then you and so this is kind of like from its raw form, your best pairing when it comes to you just need one wine to pair with all chocolates.
That's from the truffle.
How was that pairing?
Any questions on it? These guys like